hoping that this is going to be the last video I'm going to make on this topic because, quite honestly, I'm kind of tired of making videos on this topic. So let's take a quick look. That's not true. I've kind of exhausted all the possible ways I can explain this. So I want to show you real quick. 2 plus a positive 1. Think of it in terms of quantities. This is how much 2 is, and this is how much 1 is. And so when we put them together, clearly, if I were to take this and stick it up here, it would be 3, positive 3. Let's see if I can get rid of all of this. It's going to take me a long time. Let's see. Oh, it's working now. All right, perfect. Now, let's say I had something else. So let's say I had 2 plus a negative 1. Well, once again, my 2 is this quantity, but my negative 1 is this quantity back here. So when I put them together, this will go here, and it'll actually knock off. Oh, let me rephrase that. It's not going to go there. Let's stick it at the end. Go over here, and it actually knocks this much off. So you can see 2 plus a negative 1 actually gives me a negative 1. So you might say, oh, I'm still a little confused. Let's see. And I'm going to show you a couple of things very quickly. So let's see, I said 2 plus a positive 1 equals 3. 2 plus a negative 1 equals 1. Let's take a look at another example. What if we had a negative 2 plus a negative 1? Well, take a look. The negative 2 is occupying this space. A negative 1 is still in the same direction, so that can actually get tacked on, and you might notice that it becomes negative 3. So I'm going to record this over here. 2 plus a negative 1 equals a negative 3. And, oh my goodness, that was silly. Oh my goodness me. Alright. Negative 2 plus a negative 1 was a negative 3, and this one was a positive 1. And I'm going to try to do one more, and I hope this last example works for me because it's a little bit of a doozy. Let's say I had a negative 1, which I've been doing in red. So I have a negative 1, and I'm going to take away 2 negatives. Well, here's 2 negatives, but this is the amount that I want to remove from here. Well, if I were just to remove 1 negative 1, right, that would turn blue. But that would put us at 0. If I were to remove another negative 1, well, removing a negative 1 would be the same as adding a positive 1. So this would actually become positive 1. So negative 1 minus a negative 2 equals a positive 1. Now, if you're at all confused about this, I completely understand, and I apologize in advance. But I am going to do something very kind for you right now. I'm going to give you a little bit of rules. Not rules. Well, I guess rules. And I don't know how I can type my text where I want to. Let's see if I can do it here. Oh, wonderful. Right on top of what I have. Let's try it here. All right. First, get each number to have exactly 1 sign. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So we have positive 2. I'm going to do this example. A positive and a positive is positive. Here I have a positive 2, but a positive and a negative becomes negative. Here I have a negative 2. I have a positive and a negative. I already said a positive and a negative becomes negative. And here I have a negative 1, but I have a negative and a negative, which is positive. So what I'm hoping you'll notice is here, if the 2 signs are next to each other, a positive and a positive becomes positive, a negative and a negative becomes positive, But if they are opposites, negative and negative, or I'm sorry, positive and negative, they become negative. So that's the very first thing we're going to do. Second, if the signs are the same, add the two numbers and keep the sign of the larger number. All right? So where does that happen here? It happens right here. The signs are the same, they're both positive, so 2 plus 1 is 3, and we keep the 3 positive. Because I have two positives, and I'm adding another positive. Here, the signs are the same, I have a negative and a negative. So negative 2 and negative 1, I'm going to add them, but I'm going to keep the sign of the bigger number. 2 is bigger, so it becomes a negative 3. And that makes sense. If I lost $2, and then I lost $1, I've lost $3 altogether. All right? So now, third. It's not really third, because it's really second part 2. But I'm going to write there in third. If the signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. And here you can see the 2 and the 1 have different signs, so I'm going to say 2 minus 1 is 1, but the 2 is larger, so I keep that sign. And think of it like this. I had $2, I lost $1, that means I still have $1. Here I lost $1, but I found $2, which means I'm still up $1. So if I had something like this, negative 6 plus 4, the signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2, but I'm going to keep the sign of the larger number, be negative 2. And that's it. If you know these, if you know those rules, and you can kind of logically rationalize it in your head, then you're in good shape. All right? Hope that helps. Bye-bye.